What's going on, y'all? 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 It's David David. Oh man. What's going on, y'all? It's David David. Today I will be kicking off my ToA boss guide series where I'll be covering in depth the best and hopefully most minimalistic strategies to defeat each ToA boss. I'll also make sure to go over the strategy and like what you should watch out for when you're trying to face the boss, as well as like the best way to approach the boss. I will try my best to make sure that like all of my teams that I'm showing are mostly fully achievable, and if they're not fully achievable, for like most players, I will be including unit counterparts that are completely achievable. So like say I use like Valkyrie, which is like a water archer, and Siegfried, which is I think like a 4-star fire fighter. I will be explaining like what they do, as well as offering some like free-to-play counterparts. So like for Valkyrie, you can replace her with Elaine because they're both daughters, and then for Siegfried, you're mainly using him for heal blocking, and you can easily replace him with like a Sia, who does dots as well as heal blocks. So without any further ado, I do want to kick this series off with Kyklopes because he is this month's ToA normal stage 90 boss, as well as this rotation's first boss that you'll actually encounter on ToA hard. Right, her. So I do want to start off by explaining his skills. I first want to cover the Echo of War EX skill because this is pretty much his main gimmick as a boss. Echo of War EX is an AoE ability of his that he casts every other turn. It hits everything within 3 tiles of him, and he will not only reduce your unit's mobility, but it'll also give him an extra turn after to reposition and cast Provoking Blow. His normal turn order is to like walk up and cast Echo of War for an extra turn, and then cast Provoking Blow on as many of your allies as possible, and then when his turn is up again, he will just repeat the cycle. His passive, Relentless Tyrant, just increases the damage that he does when he gets low on health, and if he kills one of your allies, he gains bonus attack damage for 2 turns. So my main strategy that I'll show you in action in just a sec is to reduce the amount of time that he uses his abilities while slowly killing him down with continuous damage with Thea. Thea is very special here because she not only dots him, but she also has a transfer debuff skill on a 1-turn cooldown, meaning that every other turn you can transfer your dot to him, and more importantly, his mobility down debuff back to him as well. This essentially gives you a free turn if your units are all spaced at least a tile away from him, because he needs an adjacent unit to cast Echo of War EX. Thea is a combination unit, so she's completely farmable, but alternatively you can also use Charlotte, another combination unit. With that strategy that I came up in mind, let's head on over to my ToA 90 run so I can break it down play by play. So this is actually a video that I recorded. I try to be as minimalistic as possible. Freya you get for free in the beginning of the game, Thea's combinable, and then Amon is just like a 4-star that most people already have if you've summoned enough. If you don't have him, ekaterina works almost as well, but not as well. You might need a little more rune requirements for her. But yeah, this is just a video, like I said, that I recorded, so I'm just going to be pausing it and playing it and like kind of breaking down what was going through my mind at the time. So here I made sure that I spaced my units far away because Amon's a melee unit and Kyklopes is going to be attacking Amon most of the time, as long as he's alive obviously. So, and I want Thea, since she's ranged, I don't want her to get mobility down debuffed while she's adjacent to him, because then she'll just have like a wasted turn, and she won't be able to do anything, she won't be able to move, and then Kyklopes is just going to keep hitting her for basically free damage. So let's start it off. So here I'm just checking the range and making sure that he doesn't get close enough to attack me on turn 1, because I for sure cannot get close enough to attack him unless I like use Amon's skill, like walk up, use his skill 3, and then walk up again, since he gives me an extra turn to attack him. We just don't want to waste it, so I'm just going to position my guys so they're close to him, like where they are now, without having to like be in the red tiles where he can attack us. So I move Amon down here, and then I think I just leave Thea here. So now that he moved, now I'm free to attack him. So I'm pretty sure I just used Thea's skill 3 here. Yep. There's no special reason. This is just for DPS and for extra dots. And now I want to move Amon to where he can attack, but also... Actually, this turn I just used the reflect damage. I don't want to push him away because I want him to attack... Amon, but I don't want Amon to be next to Freya, because we know he's going to use his Provoking Blow, which is a skill 1 on Amon because of the element advantage, but we don't want him to be next to Freya because he'll just hit Freya for free, and Freya doesn't have to take damage right now because she's actually really important for the end. So now with Thea, you just want to use her skill 1 to get the continuous damage, because next turn I'll show you that she's going to transfer that continuous damage buff as well as the mobility down debuff. So here he uses Echo of War EX, and then with his extra turn he attacks Amon. So now Freya is 2 tiles away, so she gets to attack, whereas like if she was next to Amon, she wouldn't be able to attack. And then Thea, or Amon here, we're going to be able to use his healing thing on both Freya and Amon. And then what's really important here is to use your skill 1, because it reduces the cooldown on your skill 3, so you get an extra turn, or so you get 1 reduced turn for your skill 3 cooldown to like heal and get that extra turn. But also, I hit him, I don't know if you can see my mouse, I hit him from here to here to get the reduced cooldown with your skill 1. But that's really important that I keep him within 2 tiles of Thea, but also no adjacent units around him. Because now with Thea, you can transfer the mobility down debuff along with your continuous damage debuff, rendering him basically immobile for a turn, because otherwise he would just cast his Echo of War and then Provoking Blow and just pretty much kill him on. So now here you'll see me transfer the debuffs. This basically gets Amon another turn of safety to where his skill 3 could come up, and also make sure my units don't take damage. And now here, I use Amon to hit him away. I'm just going to move Thea up so Thea's still in range, but basically I wanted Amon to reduce his skill cooldown 1, but also since he goes before Freya here, Freya can give him the invincibility debuff so that Freya and Amon don't take damage next turn, pretty much keeping Amon safe for another turn, using him to like tank the boss. So Thea's just going to come up and use her skill 1 to get the dot, which she's going to transfer next turn. So now he used his Echo of War and his Provoking Blow. Now with Amon, since he survived that turn, I get to move him over here, use his skill 3 to heal, get another turn, and then push him away here. And now you see that I pushed him from here to here. He's going to be, or Thea's going to take the turn, as you can see, before him. She's going to be able to transfer the debuff again because it's only on a 1-turn cooldown, so she gets to use it every other turn. So as long as you reduce the mobility of him and hit like every time it's off cooldown, you will be able to cycle it every single time, but you just have to make sure that he's at least a space away, and Amon's really helpful for that. So he's going to knock him a space away. When it's Thea's turn right now, she's going to be able to transfer the mobility debuff and along with a dot, meaning that he's going to have basically a dead turn here, and we can just use Thea to put another dot on him. So now he can't move this turn, so now Amon has another turn to stay alive. I'm just going to push him away, try to reduce the cooldown of my skill 1, along with giving Thea the correct range. So now right here, I did that because we know that he's not going to be able to kill Amon with the first skill with his Echo of War, and I don't want her to go next to him because we know that his Provoking Blow is always going to want to hit him. So as long as we space her anywhere away from adjacent to Amon, he's not going to want to attack both of them at the same time. So we know he's probably just going to die. It's not worth it to use a skill 1, so I'm just going to use a skill 2 to try to reflect some damage. And now that I moved him on here, he didn't have to move at all, meaning that he's still 2 spaces away from Thea, so I can transfer that mobility down debuff along with the dot debuff again. And now Thea, I can just place here. So I put, Freya. I put Freya here because he's going to attack Freya next just because of like element advantage stuff. And I want to make sure he's probably going to go in this tile. I want to make sure that he goes here and mobility down debuffs both of my allies. I want to make sure that Thea's in range of that because she's not going to be able to move, and I need her to move the mobility down debuff back to him. So this turn, obviously you just skill 1, put the dot on yourself. So there's the mobility down debuff. So what's really important here, I actually messed this part up. He didn't hit the mobility down debuff on Freya, so the best option would have been to move her here or here, because he's still going to be within 2 tiles of Thea, but if I transfer this mobility down debuff to him here, and I move Freya here, she actually would have survived an extra turn. So I don't know if you guys understand, but I'll explain it one more time. This turn, I'm transferring the mobility down debuff on her to him, meaning that I use the invincibility on her so she can tank another turn, but I didn't have to do that because if I moved her in any one of these hexes over here that's away from him, he's not going to be able to attack her anyway, so I pretty much wasted a turn of invincibility. See, now he has mobility down debuff, but it really didn't matter. But in case you guys are in that situation and you didn't do enough DPS, that's really, really important that you try to spread out the turns as much as possible. So now I just go over the runes here, super basic runes. Freya's just on my arena defense set. She's just like Earthquake with HP resistance. Amon is just super, super fast. I know a lot of people like a slow Amon for ToA. I make mine really fast. And then Thea is probably my best ruined one. She's just on speed, HP, accuracy here, just to land the debuffs. So that is going to wrap it up for my first ToA boss guide video in my series for Kyklopes. Make sure that if you like this video, please, please, please leave me a thumbs up on the video. Also hit that subscribe button and notification bell because it helps support my channel a huge amount. Like, you guys have no idea how awesome you guys are at supporting, and I super appreciate and love like every single one of you that does so. Also, if you enjoy the series, please make sure to leave me a comment down below with what boss you want to see next. I'm kind of just going in like a random order. Pretty much, I'm in like all these different discords for KOH, and like all the bosses that I see the most, I'm probably going to start doing them first. But if you watching this video have a boss that you'd like me to cover, or if you are in like my Discord and you have a boss that you want me to go over that you're like stuck on, please make sure to let me know because I will be focusing on them like priority over just like the random order of bosses that I'm doing. But yeah, I hope this video helped. Thank you all for watching, and I will check you all in the next one. See ya!